We could release a decade's worth of text messages between these two women. Please release the public statement in support of Blake Lively. Maybe now they got bad blood? I don't know. That's so annoying. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively are no longer friends anymore. For sure. Here's the tea. If you're not up to date on the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuit, you might want to go watch my other video that I did about this. It is wild. This is kind of part 2. Blake Lively is in hot water now because she's not only been caught lying to the New York Times and getting the New York Times in a $400 million lawsuit with Justin Baldoni based on the edited text that she gave them that actually didn't really exist, and trying to make a worldwide smear campaign against him on something that also wasn't true. But she's now gotten America's sweetheart, Taylor Swift, involved as well with her squeaky clean image. Taylor Swift is not liking this and has been distancing herself from Blake Lively for a while, and the plot just thickened, like, by a lot. So we know Taylor Swift had a few things to do with this film. She helped get composers for the film, and her own music was being used alongside several other artists' music. Her music was used as well in the film. There was one occasion where Taylor Swift met Justin Baldoni at Blake Lively's house. This was not something that had been prearranged. It was something that it seems like Blake Lively set up without anyone else's knowledge. She set it up so that Justin Baldoni would come to her house at the same time Taylor Swift was leaving, so they'd see each other in passing. And what essentially happened was one of the scenes that Blake Lively had wanted to change. She had discussed this with Taylor Swift and her changes that she wanted to make, and Taylor Swift made a comment to Justin Baldoni as she was leaving that she really liked Blake's idea for this scene. So Justin Baldoni kind of felt coerced to change his own movie. Now, this is something that Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds are known to do in Hollywood. They are casted to be actors on a set, and then they end up being the producer. They just elbow their way through and make the production their own production. That's why Blake Lively looks the same every single movie she's in. She's wearing her own clothes. She has her own hairstylist. She doesn't change up her character whatsoever. She literally plays Blake Lively in every single movie that she's on. She's not an actress. She's just being herself. Ryan Reynolds has been known to take over the production of Deadpool, even though he was the actor who was cast for the role. Now he's taking over production as well. He's done this on several other movies, as has Blake Lively. And I think that she gets a lot of the justification and the empowerment to do this from her husband to begin with. So they've already made a really bad name for themselves in Hollywood, but It Ends With Us was Justin Baldoni's passion project. He not only bought the rights to the book to make the movie, but this has been many years in the making, and Justin Baldoni's baby, basically. He wanted this to be an amazing project, and Blake Lively took it over and made the production into her own narrative, which is completely different from what Justin Baldoni wanted to do, and even what the book does. It seemed to be an ego project for Blake, and it's been backfiring a lot. So now Taylor Swift is involved. But again, Taylor Swift has a very squeaky clean image. She and Blake Lively have been friends for a while, but it's gotten to a head to where Taylor Swift has been dragged through the mud in this scandal that Blake Lively has been getting herself into and can't dig herself out of, and Taylor Swift wants to get out of it. If you remember the famous quote that Blake Lively sent Justin Baldoni saying that she was Khaleesi and that she has dragons, kind of referencing to Taylor Swift, thinking that Taylor Swift is one of her flying monkeys or dragons or whatever. No. This woman is worth $1.6 billion. She generated over $4 billion for the United States GDP just by going on tour. Imagine going on tour and you get $4 billion for the US GDP just by you yourself going on tour. And she went on a worldwide tour, and that's just one country. That's the kind of power Taylor Swift has. But imagine how many people are eating off her plate. How many people does she employ? Her own father has 5% stake in the company that signed her. And we'll get to her dad in a minute because that's the scandal of the day. Just hold on. Well, since Taylor Swift has been in and out of this controversy for a while, Justin Baldoni's team wanted to subpoena Taylor Swift's phone. They wanted to see all the text messages between she and Blake Lively to see if there had been any coercion behind the scenes or witness tampering. And of course, Taylor Swift's team was like, yeah, that's not happening. You're not getting the texts or any information or data from Taylor Swift's phone. This is one of the most powerful women in the world. And if a scandal broke out, a lot of people would be losing their jobs. jobs. A lot of people would be losing their source of income, and it would disrupt Taylor Swift's life quite a bit because she would have to go to court. She wouldn't be able to be on tour. A lot of people would be losing money on it. It would just be a whole mess. So Taylor Swift's team basically freaks out and makes this response. Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after public release, and was traveling around the globe during 2023 and 2024, headlining the biggest tour in history. The connection Taylor had to this film was permitting the use of the song My Tears Ricochet. Given that her involvement was licensing a song for the film, which 19 other artists also did, this document subpoena is designed to use Taylor Swift's name to draw public interest by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case. Well, the facts of the case are that Taylor Swift was Blake Lively's bestie, and she did discuss this film in detail and in depth. That's why they wanted to subpoena the text messages between she and Blake Lively. And it was said that Blake Lively did reach out to Taylor Swift and asked her to delete text messages. Why would they want to delete text messages? That's the reason why Justin Baldoni's team was like, hey, if you're deleting text messages, there's probably something on there that helps our case, that makes us have receipts for the things that you've been doing to us. Little does Blake Lively know. I think she doesn't understand how this works. Actually, it's pretty obvious she doesn't know how this works the whole time, because when you subpoena someone's phone, that doesn't just get the text messages off of their phone. That goes through the actual cell phone provider. They see the text messages that have been sent, whether they've been deleted or not. That's what the subpoena does. But regardless, Taylor Swift's team won that, and it was denied by a judge. They couldn't get the subpoena. However, because Blake Lively and Taylor Swift were such besties and seen all over the place all the time together, it started to look really bad that Taylor Swift, a very, very prominent and powerful figure, started to distance herself from Blake Lively to the point that it seemed like they weren't friends anymore. Blake Lively wasn't invited to the Super Bowl this past Super Bowl season, whereas she was invited last year, and they thought that that looked pretty bad for them. Now, I know that this sounds really petty, and it is, but that says a lot when you don't invite your friend and you've been going places together forever, and the public is watching every single thing that you do. They're noticing that she's not around. So Blake Lively's team, and this is the hitter, guys, Blake Lively's team allegedly sent Taylor Swift's team a message. They asked Taylor Swift's team to release a public statement in support of Blake Lively. Taylor Swift's team was like, no, we're not gonna do that. And then Blake Lively's team hit back with, well, Blake and Taylor have been friends for 10 years. So we could release a decade's worth of text messages between these two women. Please release the public statement in support of Blake Lively. Could you imagine being in a fight with one of your friends publicly, and the world knows about it, and you're really famous, and then that friend is like, hey, support me in all of my wrongdoings, or I'm gonna release all the text messages that we've had the past decade. What's in those text messages? Like, it doesn't even matter if there's nothing bad in it. It's just public discourse that shouldn't be talked about, whether she's talking about boys or relationship or whatever's happening to her between her mom and her dad. This is very private information that could be leaked to the public. And even if it's just benign, it's not like a big deal. It's still information that she doesn't want the public to know about her. She's a very private person. And keeping her squeaky clean image keeps a lot of food on a lot of people's plates. I don't know who Blake Lively thinks she is, but if she really thinks she's Khaleesi here, it's actually Taylor Swift who's Khaleesi. It's actually Taylor Swift that has the dragons. I don't know. Wow, Blake Lively is just really, really deranged. It's crazy. But who gave Justin Baldoni's team this information? Justin Baldoni's team literally just came out and said they have a very, very, very good source, very, very, very close to Taylor Swift, who would know that this is true. Justin Baldoni's team wouldn't have said that if they didn't know this source was incredibly credible. So it couldn't have just been a friend or a cousin of Taylor Swift. It would have to be someone that they know for sure would not be lying to them. Well, here it says that it's her dad. Her dad gave Justin Baldoni's team the information about Blake Lively. Taylor Swift's dad gave Justin Baldoni's team the information about Blake Lively trying to extort Taylor Swift. Now, I would believe Taylor Swift's dad if Taylor Swift's dad was giving me information about Taylor Swift for a lawsuit. That obviously means Taylor Swift is not on her side. She's given information to the op of her bestie. She's probably very likely to give text messages to Justin Baldoni's team, showing that Blake Lively did try to tell her to delete text messages, which is evidence scrubbing and witness tampering. So, you might be wondering why I'm even talking about this at all, considering the fact that I expose political corruption on my channel and talk about the news. Well, this is because this is huge news. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been just completely taking over projects in the entertainment industry for a very, very long time and been getting away with it just because they have a lot of money, they're big names, and they bully everybody out of their own projects. This has got to stop. But the fact that she kept trying to cover her own behind over and over and over again and kept getting exposed to the point that she now has the New York Times in a $400 million lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. She got the New York Times in on this, and now the New York Times is in a $400 million lawsuit. That is big news. What I do on my channel is I expose corruption, and that's exactly what this is. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, because to me, this is insane. So yeah, now Taylor Swift's team is Team Justin Baldoni. Big break in the case. That's crazy. That's it for now. I can't believe that is quite a plot thickener. I'm so sorry, but that's like insane. Blake Lively is not going to win this. I mean, the court case actually starts in March 2026, so we still have some time, but this is not looking good for her. I can't imagine this going well whatsoever. Justin Baldoni is a complete victim in this, and he has all the receipts, and now the best friend of the person that's putting him through all this is now giving him receipts and coming on his side. It's poetic justice is really what it is. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you back on the next video. Bye.